What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have Dutch inventions you never knew were Dutch. Before we dive in, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Stop in.
So we have this ongoing joke at the moment that my partner seems to think that nearly everything was created by Dutch people. And I looked into this because every time he has this ridiculous example of something that I use every single day and he exclaims that, did you know that that was invented by a Dutch person? I doubt it every single time. Every single time I go to the internet, I find out that he's actually telling the truth. So today I want to make a video about the crazy things that you probably use every single day that you had no idea were invented by the Dutch. Now, before we get into the list, I want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform for creatives. They have a range of classes learning, which means there's no ads, and they're all Skillshare, and know that there's all the different ads that you sometimes get. Using the link below, free trial, it's just $10 a month. Now back to the video. So the very first item on my list is the telescope. The funny thing about the telescope is that basically 3 Dutch people applied for a patent for the technology all within a few weeks of each other, and 2 of them even came from the same village. So it's disputed whether the Dutch person who actually applied for the patent first was in fact the inventor, but nonetheless the other 2 backups were also Dutch. So this was invented back in 1608, and the patent, well, the first guy to apply for one, was called Hans Lippershey. Is that how you pronounce his last name? And not that I use a telescope every single day, but it led to amazing technical advancements and even things like being able to map the stars. So I feel like the fact that it came from a Dutch person is kind of cool. The next thing on the list is also to do with looking in things. It is the microscope. And I had no idea that the microscope was also invented in the Netherlands, in Middelburg. Again, the credit for this one is kind of in dispute by the first 2 guys who were actually inventing a telescope, and whether one of them was actually kind of inventing that technology at the same time. But the guy that holds the real title for the microscope is Anton van Leeuwenhoek, and it was the first time that anyone could see anything up to 200 times its normal size, which was, it blew everything out of the water that existed at that time. So the Dutch also had a really big...
It's so crazy to hear, like, they was really over there fighting for credit. Like, 3 people apply for the same patent all within a couple of weeks. Oh yeah, they had a falling out. They was working on this together. They had a falling out, and it was first to get there. It was up to the first to get there with the microscope. They we was doing that technology, but you wasn't the first. Back then, it was a race. It was first to get that patent. You feel
role to play in the invention of the submarine. So the design of the submarine was actually attributed to an Englishman, but the Dutch physicist Cornelius Drebbel, he was responsible for inventing the first underwater movable vessel. And apparently it was made of wood, and the cover was just like greased up leather, and it had pipes that would bring water down from the surface, and it used oars and flaps for momentum, which just seems crazy to me. I don't think I would want to be one of the people that tested out how waterproof it was and test out how deep it could go when there was just greased up leather between you and the ocean. So he was actually working for the English Royal Navy when this all happened. So I guess that was that crossover between the submarine design and the Dutch kind of making that happen. Now, if you've ever had your eyes...
there's no way on planet Earth I would be the one testing how waterproof that submarine is. There's no way. I love humanity, bro, because there's always people who will test, who have to test, who are drawn to it. I'm not one of them people, but I'm glad we got them
tested. I know I have, and I'm pretty sure they're almost the same globally. The eye tests that you have to do. The eye tests, yes, were invented by a Dutchie. So a Dutch inventor by the name of Herman Snellen is responsible for creating
No.
a series of letters that went from large to small, including a red and green stripe to test for color blindness. And he came up with this idea in 1862. So another contribution from a Dutch
And we
inventor that
still
is now
use that
used
today.
globally. Now, something I didn't know was that Philips, the
Wow.
massive tech company who also makes appliances and household things,
Yeah,
is Dutch, and I
a lot of
did
things.
not know this. And Philips is obviously responsible for developing a massive array of technology types. I know they're super invested in the health industry and making innovations
I didn't
there.
even
But
know
one of the
that.
biggest things that they helped develop and changed the way we consume content was the invention of CDs and DVDs. So the CDs and the DVDs, again, that are used globally and completely changed the way that we were able to share and listen to music and watch movies, was invented in Eindhoven. Like, how crazy is that? It just blows my mind. And some of these inventions, obviously, the gateway to so many other innovations, like the microscope and everything that we've been able to learn about our own bodies and the world that we live in through a microscope, is completely attributed to these Dutch inventors that did it first. So not only are these like these really key pivotal moments, these are gateways to future inventions. And I just, like, how did they get all of these Dutch inventors to be making all of this stuff? Like, it just, ugh.
I mean,
Now, I
facts.
didn't
You
know
got to look at the Dutch and absolutely appreciate everything that they've given to us because they have given a crap ton to us. They have done so freaking much for the world, and it's insane to hear about all these inventions. Like, shout out to the Dutch. Y'all really impact my daily life with all that y'all living. See, I burned so many CDs in my days, watched so many movies on DVD.
this, and I have always
Dutch, man.
wondered what the deal is with Fahrenheit. I don't get it. I'm Australian. We do not use it there. We use
Yeah.
Celsius. I had no idea that Fahrenheit came from a Dutch person, which seems strange because you don't use it here anymore. It's really only used in America. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive that America is
I
the
thought there
only
was like
country
one
left
other
that still
country.
uses Fahrenheit.
Oh, dang.
So the Dutch inventor was actually Polish born. So this is a little bit, is it really Dutch? I'm almost
Oh,
positive he grew up in the Netherlands, but was born in Poland. Daniel
oh.
Fahrenheit, I believe is what it would kind of sound like in Dutch, is the inventor of the thermometer. So this was putting alcohol and mercury and measuring the temperature at which water boiled and at which water froze for the very first time. I don't know who invented
Oh.
Celsius, so if anyone knows that, please comment below. Was it another Dutch person? And if someone could tell me why you guys switched to Celsius then and didn't just
Yeah.
keep on going with the
On everything.
Fahrenheit system, that would also be really handy. So this next one is probably
They said Fahrenheit Polish, so we gonna go to Celsius. But that's I thought that Fahrenheit came from the English. I thought that came from the Brits. So to learn that that came from the Dutch is actually very intriguing. Like I did not know that. Wow.
something that I use
What?
almost every single day. I have a pair of headphones and they are Bluetooth. Bluetooth was invented by a
Come
Dutchman.
on.
While he was working at Ericsson,
Come
Jaap
on.
Hartson thought of the idea of Bluetooth, so wirelessly connecting to another device. And at first, I remember Bluetoothing ringtones to other friends while I was at high school. That was my first encounter with
Mm-hmm.
Bluetooth. And now it is syncing
Mm-hmm.
up devices all over our homes and with other devices internally. So every time I'm in a meeting and I've got my headphones on, I have a Dutchman to thank for that. Now, this one I didn't know
That is so
either, and now that I have a
freaking
child,
awesome.
I'm far more familiar with Dutch cartoons and Dutch characters, but Miffy, who I have grown up knowing, was actually Dutch. And
I don't know
she's called
Miffy.
Nijntje, which is short for konijntje, which is a rabbit. So I think her name in Dutch makes way more sense than just Miffy, which makes no sense at all, actually. But Dick
I mean, true.
Hoona is the man who thought about Miffy, Nijntje, and we have heaps of her books now in our house. I'm reading them to our daughter. But Miffy is a worldwide
Oh.
character, and there is millions and millions of books and toys and TV series and everything to do with Miffy. She is massive. Apparently these picture books started when Dick Bruna would tell stories to his son about a rabbit that they used to see on holidays, and it just grew from there. So thanks again to the Dutchies for inventing something that was, you know, part of my childhood on the other side of the world. Dutchies have invented hundreds of things. This was a list of a few of my favorite things that I really saw a massive amount of value in and how they've changed the way that we live today. The Dutch are crazy innovative, and when I was researching this video, I came across a whole range of future technologies that they're looking into. So they have definitely not stopped inventing, they are still going. If anyone wants to see a video about the future innovations that the Netherlands are leading the way in, please give this video a like, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other crazy objects and things that you know were invented by Dutch people, I want to hear about them. So put them in the comments below as well. I would love to read through and find out some other things that I probably use every single day that were also invented by a Dutch person. I hope you like this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
That was genuinely awesome to hear everything that invented, and yeah, I'm having to use Bluetooth earbuds right now because my headphones are dead and I need to go get a new charger. But just the Dutch have impacted our entire lives so much with some of the inventions that have come out of there. And it's like, yeah, her partner, gosh, man, yeah, Dutch partner. The Dutch done invented everything. Along with the English, the Dutch and the English kind of created the world that we live in. It's starting to feel like I gotta go get my son. That's all. I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, get a video.